Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here for a final look at the Week 4 main slate here on Draftkings. A couple things before I get into the video. One, we finally reached 600 subscribers. I really do appreciate all the support I'm getting on this channel, each and every one of you. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoy the content. We got new videos out basically every single day here for NFL DFS, and we'll get NBA right around the corner. And two, I'm doing a weekly giveaway here on this channel. The ways to enter is all you have to do is leave a like and a comment on the video and be subscribed to the channel, and that's one entry into the giveaway. Max one comment, though, per video. Starting with my early look video and going throughout the week, and I'm actually going to announce the winner on the Monday Night Football Showdown slate, so you can enter this giveaway 2 more times with this video, leave a like and a comment, and my Sunday Night Football Showdown slate video, just leave a like and a comment, and that would be 2 entries. And then I'm going to be announcing it on the Monday Night Football Showdown slate. So I'm really excited for that. The winner will get $20 PayPal. So that's some exciting stuff. But other than that, let's just jump right into it here. So final look here. We'll start with quarterbacks. And again, you guys know like the top range, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. You really can't go wrong with either of these guys. Mahomes, every single week, he has like a floor of like 20, 25 fantasy points in the dome. The highest over-under of the day. Mahomes, you can't go wrong if you have the salary at 7.5K. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Playing at home against Cleveland, just has big rushing upside. So, I think the ownership is going to be a little bit lower on him, but I still think the upside is there. So, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, really can't go wrong. Other targets, I'm kind of crossing off Brady. Don't really like that game in general. Deshaun Watson, I think at 6.4K is a nice discount off of Lamar and Mahomes. And this game there should be a lot of points scored in this one. Again, Carolina plays at a really fast pace. So, and he has a little bit of rushing upside as well. So Deshaun Watson at a discount, I do kind of like that at 6.4K. I mean, Goff's okay here at 6.3. Russell Wilson, I talked about it in my value play video, and pivots off of guys who I think are going to be really high owned. Russell Wilson, I think, is going to be the highest owned guy in cash games. And you really can't go wrong. I think he's definitely GPP viable as well. I mean, the matchup is just so good. You just want to stream players against Arizona, one of the worst defenses in the NFL. The only concern is if Seattle gets off to an early lead and they just like pound Chris Carson, that would be the concern. So hopefully Arizona can score some points too, so Russell Wilson will be forced to throw. Because last game against New Orleans, they just got off to such a big deficit that he was forced to throw the whole time. So that is the only issue, is if Seattle gets off to a big early lead, then I think they're just going to pound Chris Carson. So, that is, I guess, the only concern with Russell Wilson there at 6.1K. A pivot in GPP, so I think it's going to be really low owned, is Kyler Murray. I still like his upside here. Again, Arizona is playing at such a fast pace. It's like a college offense. He flashed a rushing upside as well last game. So I think everyone's going to be on Russell Wilson, but a pivot in the same game, I wouldn't mind Kyler Murray for GPPs. And then other targets, I don't mind Josh Allen at 5.6. I think it's only GPPs though. I'm not really convinced that New England is such a good defense just because the teams they've played in a combined 0-9 record. So Josh Allen, I think, is fine for GPPs. I don't think I could go there for cash, but I definitely think he's viable for GPPs. Stafford popped up in the injury report. I'm not too worried. They said they expect him to go. Again, Detroit's going to have to score points to stay in this game against Kansas City. The highest over-under of the day in the Dome. Stafford, 100% cash game and GPP viable at 5.5K. And then last target here, it's going to be Daniel Jones at 5.3. Definitely cash game as well as GPP viable. You guys know I love this game as a whole. I want a lot of pieces to it. 2 really bad defenses. Daniel Jones, definitely cash as well as GPP viable. And that's basically it. I mean, you could look at Mariota. I wouldn't feel great about it, but Tennessee should be playing from behind. Atlanta, not the best defense, but that's basically it for quarterbacks. So let's move on to running backs. Again, at the top, it's McCaffrey. I think it's going to be really high owned for cash games just because there's not a whole lot of great spend-ups at running back. So I think everyone's just going to spend up for McCaffrey and then move on. Obviously, he has such a high floor and a high ceiling. Like, this guy's out there the whole time. The matchup's okay. If you have the salary for cash games, I think he's going to be really popular. So definitely don't mind McCaffrey at all. Dalvin Cook, I'm kind of off. Eckler's interesting here. So Justin Jackson actually got ruled out. So, they could be pretty thin at running back. Melvin Gordon, though, they said might play, but only in a limited role. So if he plays a limited role, I mean, that would probably be like a Justin Jackson role, I would assume, like 20 to 30% of the snaps. So you definitely couldn't play Melvin Gordon. That would be a slight downgrade to Eckler. Now, if Melvin Gordon can't go, then Eckler might get all the running back touches here, which would definitely make him viable at 8K. So this is a situation we have to monitor until Sunday here. Gurley's is kind of a stay away. He's not looking like himself. the snaps aren't there. The matchup is good. I can definitely see him getting you there at 70% of the snaps, but I'm probably going to stay away. Now, David Johnson, I think for GPPs, even cash games at 6.8K, just because, again, there's not a whole lot of good spend-up running backs in the slate. He's just utilized so much in the passing game. Yeah, I mean, there's really not a whole lot else to say. Like 6.8K just seems too cheap for David Johnson. So I think he does have some upside here for GPPs, and you can play him in cash games too. Now, Mark Ingram, I'm probably going to be off just because I think the ownership's going to go way up on him after that 3-touchdown game. The concern with him, again, is Lamar Jackson. He will keep it a lot himself, and Baltimore does utilize other running backs as well. Mark Ingram isn't out there the whole time, so that is the concern. I'm probably going to fade just because I think the ownership's going to be kind of high. Nick Chubb's interesting, but probably not going to be the way I go. I'm concerned Baltimore gets off to an early lead and maybe they phase out Chubb a bit. Now, Chubb did play on like 100% of the snaps in week 3, but Freddie Kitchens said they don't want that again, so I'm probably going to stay away from Chubb as well, though. I get it if you want to go there at 6.4K. Derrick Henry's just a pass. It's just he's not utilized enough in the passing game for me. The matchup is solid, but again, if Tennessee gets off to an early deficit, they're just going to phase him out and use Deion Lewis, so I can't do it 6.3K. Now, Marlon Mack's kind of interesting at 6.1. I think he's going to be pretty popular for cash as well as GPPs. Home favorite running back going against Oakland. Oakland defense, nothing to be scared about. The only downside with him is not utilized a ton in the passing game, but he's still running routes. So at 6.1K, Marlon Mack is a guy I'm kind of getting onto late. Definitely considering him for cash as well as GPPs. Leonard Fournette's interesting. He's basically out there the whole time too. They utilize him a lot in the pass game here. 6, 6, and 8 targets. The matchup, not the best on the road against Denver. This game should be pretty low scoring, but I get it if you want to go there at 6K. I would just prefer, Marlon Mack, I think, at $100 more. Chris Carson, also very interesting at 5.7K. Now, he's fumbled, 3 or 4 times in the first 3 weeks, but Pete Carroll is saying he's still confident in Carson. He's still their guy. So Rashard Penny, too, listed as questionable. I don't expect him to go. So I think Chris Carson's going to go pretty low because he's burned a lot of people the last few weeks, but this is just such a good matchup. And again, if Seattle gets off to an early lead, I can just see him feeding Carson 25 times or so. So he's kind of fringe cash game viable. Again, the fumble situation does scare me. If he fumbles again, they'll probably just bench him the rest of the game. So there's definitely risk, but I do like the upside a lot on Chris Carson at 5.7K. I think, again, a lot of people will be off him just because he's burned a lot of people, basically. McCoy at 5.6, with Damian Williams ruled out, I think is okay. But they will use a Darrell Williams as well. Kansas City, they don't really feature one back. Again, any piece of this offense is definitely viable. 5.6K I think is fair. I don't think he's the best play, but I don't think he's the worst play either. Kerryon's a guy I do really like here, 5.4K. I don't really know what his ownership's going to be like in cash. I feel like it's going to be lower than it should be. With C.J. Anderson out of town, the snaps went up for him to 75%, and Detroit's going to have to score points. He is a great pass-catching back. He hasn't really shown it here the first 3 weeks, but last year, he had games where he had 6 to 8 catches a game. So Kerryon Johnson, 100% at 5.4K. That's just too cheap. Really like him for cash games and GPPs. Probably my favorite. Yeah, I would say probably my favorite running back play for salary at 5.4K. That's just way too cheap for Kerryon. Other backs, Denver, I get it. They like working the running backs a lot with Lindsey and Royce Freeman, but it's just a split, like an even split. I don't expect this level of production again, so I'm probably going to fade in a game that should be pretty low scoring. Devontae Freeman, have we got confirmed news? Oh, so Ito Smith's in. Okay, so I'm off Devontae Freeman for sure. I was only going to target him if there was no Ito Smith. With Ito Smith out in week 3, Devontae Freeman played 90% of the snaps, but with Ito Smith back, it's just stay away. Other backs, now Darrell Williams is interesting at 4.7K. Again, with no Damian Williams, he should pick up a decent amount of work. Look what happened last game here, 9 carries, 62 yards, as well as being targeted a bunch in the passing game. He's definitely the better pass-catching back of the two between him and McCoy. Don't see Darwin Thompson getting too much work. I think it would be the number 3. But yeah, I think Darrell Williams is viable for GPPs. Wouldn't go there for cash games. But yeah, like I said, any piece of the Kansas City offense is certainly in play here. Now, Wayne Gallman at 4.6, really like for cash games. He's going to be really popular. I think he's close to a lock in cash games. Just the salary is so cheap. He's not going to be utilized the same as Saquon. I'm not going to say he's going to play 100% of snaps. So I think Wayne Gallman's going to be out there for 75, 80% of snaps, and he's a great pass-catching back. Again, Washington defense, nothing to be scared of. So yeah, Wayne Gallman at 4.6K, really like for cash as well as GPPs. He's going to be popular though. A pivot off him for GPPs is Chris Thompson at 4.5K. The only downside with him is if Washington gets off to an early lead, they're going to utilize a lot of AP and kind of phase Chris Thompson out. But if Washington's playing from behind, that's when Chris Thompson's valuable, like that he was against Chicago when they're playing from behind. Got 4 catches for 79 yards. So he's a little riskier there, 4.5K. Frank Gore, I get it if you want to go there. He's looked decent, and they're giving him good work the last couple weeks. I don't see the upside in him at 4.4K. I think there's better plays. Like Wayne Gallman, much rather have him for 200 more. So probably going to be off Frank Gore. Other running backs, I think that's about it. Cause my only cheap target was going to be Justin Jackson, but he's obviously out. Now, CJ Process, I guess, is interesting if there's going to be no Rashard Penny. And if Chris Carson fumbles again, I think CJ Process will get the bulk of the work. So only for GPPs, and we'll only target him again if there's no Rashard Penny. That's basically it. So let's move on to wide receiver. Now, wide receiver, if you guys watched my early look video, I like a lot in the mid-range. So I'm not targeting a lot of these guys up top, but if I was going to target one of these top 5 guys, probably would be DeAndre at 7.7 or Keenan Allen. I mean, Keenan Allen just gets targeted so much. The concern is, again, this game gets out of hand early, and they just, pound the rock. But if Miami can stay in it, I can see huge upside there for Keenan Allen. Again, DeAndre Hopkins, I like the pairing with him and Deshaun Watson for GPPs. Couple down weeks in a row here, week 2 and week 3, but he does have big upside, so I don't mind that pairing. Mike Evans even, but I think the ownership's going to be pretty high on him after the big week 3. I think I'm going to look elsewhere just because I think he's going to be higher owned. And then we kind of get in the sweet range, the mid-range here for wide receiver. Sammy Watkins is 6.7, I think is definitely viable. I just prefer a couple guys in this price range, but Sammy Watkins, again, any part of the Kansas City offense is super valuable, so don't mind him here at 6.7K. Then we get Cooper Kupp. I think it's going to be pretty popular for cash games at 6.5K. The second highest over under the slate. He's just utilized so much in this offense, 10, 9, and 12 targets. He's really safe with upside. Again, there should be a lot of points scored in this game, so I do like Cooper Kupp a good amount at 6.5K. If you want to pivot in the same game, you could look to Cooks and Woods, so I think you're going to go a lot lower owned, but still do have some upside. Then Tyler Lockett as well. Just love this play for cash games. He's going to be really popular. Love pairing him with Russell Wilson. I think everyone's going to do that for cash games, but just the matchup is so good. Again, the only concern with the Seattle offense is if they get off to an early lead and they just pound the rock. So as long as Arizona can score some points here, I think Lockett and Russell Wilson could have a huge day here. Chris Godwin at 6K is interesting. I think he's going to be a lot lower owned than Mike Evans, and it's popped up in the injury report. They're saying he's good to go, though. So, I think he's an interesting leverage play off of Mike Evans just because all the ownership's going to go to him and no one's really going to play Godwin. I don't mind him here at 6K. Josh Gordon at 5.9, I get it. Julian Edelman's questionable. If there's no Edelman, then obviously that's a boost to Josh Gordon, so that's a situation we have to monitor. Kenny Golladay, I do really like him as well. So, the 3 lines I like are Kenny Golladay, Stafford, and Kerryon Johnson. All just seem too cheap for a game. Again, Detroit's going to have to score a lot of points. Golladay, I think, has the most upside out of anyone in the receiving core for Detroit. I like him a lot for cash as well as GPPs. Let me go to Detroit. So, I don't mind Marvin Jones, I guess, at 5.4K, but I just think the upside is a little bit more with Golladay. So, Galladay's going to eat up a lot more of the ownership. So, I guess if you want to pivot, you could look to Marvin Jones Jr., but I just prefer Golladay for an extra 500. Again, I just think he has a little bit more upside. Marquise Brown as well. The snaps, the issue with him in the first game was the snaps weren't really there, but they're going up. Now that he's at 75% of the snaps, and he's such a deep threat that this guy just has huge upside at 5.8K. So I don't mind pairing him with Lamar Jackson. He would probably be the one receiver I would play on Baltimore. Sterling Shepard at 5.8K, I get it, but I just prefer other guys in his price range. I do want a lot of pieces to this game, but I just prefer other receivers in that similar price range. The 2 Arizona receivers, again, they're just too cheap. Arizona plays at such a fast pace. It's like a college offense, quick passes. So Fitz and Christian Kirk do have pretty high floor in my opinion. Other receivers, John Brown, I get it. If you want to pair him with Josh Allen, a 5.3K does have big play upside. The two other Kansas City receivers with Robinson and Hardman, I do like them, 5.1 and 5.2. I think I would lean towards Hardman if I'm picking between the two. I think it's a little bit more upside, but both definitely in play. The Indiana receivers, so let me go to Indiana real quick. I don't know if I'm on any of these guys with T.Y. doubtful. It's going to be Campbell, Pascal, Kane, and Rodgers. All kind of split the duty. Let's see. I think the snap counts were... So Kane played in 37 snaps. Pascal played in 30. Paris Campbell played in 30. And Chester Rogers played in 27. So like I said, it was kind of an even split with the 4 receivers. I guess if I was picking between any of these 4 guys, I think I would lean towards Deion Kane. But I wouldn't feel great about it. I don't think we have to take a shot in this slate. I think there's better options. Okay, where were we? DK Metcalf, if you want the pivot off the really high-owned Tyler Lockett, I think he does have some upside. Hasn't really flashed it yet, but this guy does have big play upside. Again, Arizona, one of the worst defenses in the league, so wouldn't mind the pivot there to DK if you want to get off of Tyler Lockett. Dorsett is interesting. If there's no Julian Edelman, he'll get a slight boost. The playing time will still be there. Again, he played in over 90% of the snaps, but we'll get a slight boost if there's no Julian Edelman. Cole Beasley, again, I don't mind pairing him with Josh Allen. Samuel, I think, is a lot of upside at 4.6K. I just think that price is too cheap. He just, he can break one basically any single time. So Samuel at 4.6K for GPPs, I do like that. Will Fuller's never really a guy I play, but I get it at 4.5K. He does have big play upside. The concern is he's very injury prone. Terry McLaurin's going to be a guy that's going to be really popular. The hamstring injury does worry me. They said he should be able to play, but a hamstring injury for a wide receiver just, I don't know. I don't feel great about it. So I think he's still going to be pretty high owned, but I might pivot to Paul Richardson here at 3.7 just because, the injury does scare me with McLaurin. I think McLaurin does have more upside, but Richardson at 800 just seems $800 discount just seems a little safer. And then other receivers in this cheap range, I guess I wouldn't mind Humphreys at 4K. Preston Williams would be the one guy from Miami I would target. Oh, let me go to let me go to Arizona real quick. So Bird got ruled out. Crabtree he's not on the team anymore. So Keyshawn Johnson's going to be the number 3 receiver. And I think he has a decent amount of upside here. Got targeted 10 times there in that first game, 2 and 4. The snaps, he's been playing about 50% of the snaps, but with Bird out, that should go up to 90%. At 3.2K, I think he has some sneaky upside. So I do like him as a cheap play for GPPs. And that's basically it, I think, for wide receivers. So let's move on to tight end. Tight end, you guys know, everyone's talking about him. He's going to be popular for cash games. It's Will Dissly at 3.6K. Again, my concern is he's only playing 50% of the snaps. Now, he's still running a lot of routes. And Arizona's been burned by tight ends this year, but I think there's definite risk with Will Dissly. He's going to be chalky, but I might pivot for 2,000 more to Evan Ingram, who I just feel a lot safer about. Again, this game is just super appealing to me. 2 really bad defenses. Evan Ingram with no Saquon, Giants should pass the ball a little bit more here. I just love the upside on him. So, really like Evan Ingram there at 5.7. Kelsey, if you have the salary at 7.2K, is safe pretty much every single time with upside. Same thing with Darren Waller here. Basically the number 1 target, and Oakland should be playing from behind, so I do like Darren Waller at 4.2. Delaney Walker at 4.8 I think is solid. Same with Greg Olsen at 4.2. And then OJ Howard I don't mind. I think goes really low owned just because he's had a bad start to this season. Again, Will Dissly, he's going to be chalky. It's tough because I think there's better options, but if he gets 50 yards and a touchdown or 2, then you're basically burned if you don't have him. So there's definite risk with fading him at 3.6K, but I think he does have a little bit more risk involved than people think. And then really cheap options. I don't mind Hawkinson at 3.3K. But that's basically it. So let's move on to the defenses. Obviously at the top is the Chargers defense. You can just basically stream defenses against Miami. I don't mind it if you have the salary. As far as cheaper defenses, I think the Bears are solid at 3.4K in a game that should be a pretty low over-under game. Same with the Ravens, aggressive defense. Baker Mayfield has turned the ball over a decent amount this season, so I don't mind the Ravens. And then The Broncos are interesting at 2.9K. Again, this game should be pretty ugly. They have yet to have a sack, turnover, or sack or turnover. Like no fumble recoveries, no picks, no sacks. If they can pick up a few sacks and maybe a turnover, they can definitely get you some decent points in a game that again should be pretty low scoring. So I don't mind the Denver defense at home at 2.9K. But yeah, that's basically it for this video, I think. So again, guys, if you have been enjoying the content so far, I'd really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section down below. Again, if you want to enter into the giveaway, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment. That's one entry into the giveaway. I will be announcing the winner on my Monday Night Showdown slate video, so you can enter the giveaway 2 more times with this video as well as my Sunday Night Showdown slate video, which will be up later today. And that's it. So I will see you guys here for my Sunday night video. So yeah, see you guys then.